Keith, let's start with you giving me a detailed explanation for all that's happened so far.
Asking me for an explanation, huh?
Today is supposed to be the day that my little sister has her wedding with someone, but why on the day of her wedding were you showing up to it wearing the groom's tuxedo? When I saw you walking in on my sister's wedding day as the groom, I was more shocked than actually angered with you. Even now, I'm having a hard time showing any other emotions besides shock because of how outlandish you've been.
Well, as you've pretty much seen everything for what it is, I shouldn't have to give you an explanation for what's going on here.
No, I deserve an explanation for all of that because I currently cannot believe my eyes.
Oh, for crying out loud, I guess there's no way I'm getting out of this without giving you a rundown, so I'll give you that explanation. I'm going to get married to your little sister, Joy, okay? I'm sorry for keeping all that a secret from you. Now, can we get to the part where you divorce me?
Huh? Since when have you been going after my sister, and when did she start to think it was okay to marry my husband?
Well, about half a year ago, I started to talk with her about my feelings towards her. She was working at the bar that I loved to go to a lot back then, and when she came up to me to get my order, she asked me if I was her sister's husband or not. That, I guess, is what you would actually consider the start to all this. And well, from that point on, I tried my hardest to resist her looks, but man, did the image of me being her in my mind look amazing. And bam! She had a hold of me, and there was no other way for me to free myself anymore.
So you really were taken away by her looks?
Huh?
I know that I've already let you in on this whole story before, but let me explain to you one more time the reason for why I left my family behind 5 years ago.
What? Why would I need to hear about that again?
My sister, Joy, she, for some reason, takes a liking in stealing anything I lay my hands on, whether that be things or people. And as for my parents, they're the kind of people that look past her doing that sort of stuff to me and love her with all their heart. So to escape such a hellish environment as that, I ran away from my home, leaving everyone in my family behind to start a new life where I didn't have to worry about Joy. Don't you remember when I told you the reason why I couldn't introduce you to my family before we were married was because of that reason? I guess you don't, because in the end, even you, Keith, even you became another part of my sister's hobby and have been stolen away from me.
Oh, come on now. I'm sure that you might just think that your sister is stealing me away from you without any actual emotion to it, but she really does love me, and I love her even more back. And you, of all people, being her sister, should be glad that she's finally found someone like me that makes her so happy. You being not happy to see that just shows how horrible of a person that you really are inside.
And the same could be said of someone that tries to have a wedding with his wife's little sister even before getting a divorce.
Excuse me?
To be honest, I never even wanted to be at my sister's wedding today. Well, either way, I'm going to head home now after this.
Hey. Things have only just begun, and I want you around to see it.
Do you actually think I want to stick around and see the end?
Huh?
You went out and told everyone that you divorced me, and that's how you got all your friends to make it to the wedding today. But those friends of yours that you went out talking to happened to be my friends as well, and figured out right away that something was wrong when the invitation said you'd be marrying my little sister. This isn't going to end well for you, Keith.
Huh? The friends that we both get along with know about this? I don't remember telling any of my friends who are your friends as well about this.
You did, but I won't tell you who. But those friends of ours saw that you sent invitations that you planned to marry my little sister. They were shocked to see that, but were even more shocked that you were doing all of this to me after everyone thought we had such a good relationship. Either way, people know just how messed up all of this is, and the word will start to spread, and everyone will begin to leave.
What?
You can choose to continue with the wedding if you'd like, but don't expect there to be many people remaining after learning about the crap you're trying to pull. Be ready to have the whole world pointing fingers at you for what you've done and calling you a freak and an idiot.
What? That's... Your sister and I were supposed to have a beautiful wedding today and be celebrated by everyone we invited.
Well, with that, in a few days, let's start talks about the settlement I plan to ask from you.
You're planning to ask for money from me now?
And don't plan on coming home today, okay? I don't want to see your face right now, and I don't want to be sleeping in the same house as you anymore.
Wait, Heidi.
I'll be going now. What the heck, Heidi? Hurry up and get everyone to come back to our wedding. Huh? Why are you asking me, of all people, to do that? If you want them all back there watching your messed up wedding, then you go get them yourself. But you're the one that did all of this, so you have to get them back here or else they won't listen to me. Just because your husband left you for me because I'm better in every way doesn't mean you can just start talking bad about us and getting everyone to leave the wedding we planned out. What the heck are you thinking? I didn't do anything to make those people start leaving. Those people were all told by a friend of mine, and they chose themselves to believe your wedding is messed up and leave. And I was out of there before everyone else started to leave, so how's that my fault? I'm not responsible for their actions, nor am I going to be responsible for getting them to turn around and go back to you. So go out and get them yourself. Come back here right now! Heidi! It's been destroyed. You may have ruined my whole wedding with what you did, but I'm still going to be married to Keith, and there's nothing you can do about it. Now just divorce him already so that I can have him. I am going to hand in our marriage papers soon, and then make sure that his parents understand that I'll be his new wife. Do you even know where his parents live? What the heck are you talking about? You are living with them right now, right? Huh? Those 60-year-old people that you're living with are his parents, right? I really want to come over there and introduce myself to them, but you're always sitting in their house with them and it's driving me nuts. Can you please hurry up and get lost already? Wait, could you be mistaking my foster parents for his parents right now? Huh? Foster parents? After I left you guys in that house, I had gone out saying that I was a foster child who had no parents. And that's when I was able to find my foster parents who took me in even though I was already in my late teens. Did you not hear about any of this from Dad? Just wait a second. That means that the gorgeous house that Keith and you have been living in is... This is the house of my foster dad. Then what about Keith's parents? To be honest, I've never met either one of them either. He told me that right after he got into college, his parents went through a tough divorce and then moved off to different places without him. And ever since then, he's been without parents, and that all happened a while back, and he's never even heard from them since. Neither of us even know where they went, to tell you the truth. Huh? So I've never met either of his parents, and he was at least able to meet my foster parents before we had our wedding. Are you kidding me? So you never even talked with Keith about who the older couple is that we've been living with? Because if you asked him whether they were his parents or not, you would have gotten your answer a whole lot sooner. He just told me that I wouldn't be able to see them at the wedding. Well, him being vague with you about it and there being no explanation isn't my problem, but I will say this. Your reason for wanting to marry Keith hasn't been for him, but rather this amazingly beautiful house that I live in right now, right? Well, you getting to live in that house all by yourself with that older couple isn't fair. So that's why I looked for your husband, and when I found the bar he went to often, I applied for a job there and was able to make my move. I planned to marry him so that I could get that house and live there as well. And what about the name on that house? I made sure to double check the last name on that house and everything. And I can confirm that the last name on that house is the same as Keith's. And that's because Keith took my new last name in the marriage. Huh? When I was adopted by my foster parents after running away from Mom and Dad, they helped me change my last name since I'm legally their child now. And so that would mean that both Keith and I share the same last name as the owners of this house. That's why the name on the house is the same as his last name, right? What the heck? How am I supposed to let you get away with some stupid reason like that? Why didn't you ever tell me you changed your last name sooner? I assumed you would have heard from Mom and Dad about how I found new parents and they adopted me. But to be fair, you never even listened to what I say anyway, and On top of that, after I ran away, you started to tell everyone you kicked me out of the house and that I was mentally ill. That was you spreading that rumor, right? Why would I care about you knowing about my situation after running away when you go and do things like that? Ah, that's right. How about you change your story about getting adopted and make it seem like I was adopted by them instead? If you let me become their child, then I'll let you have Keith back. What? All right, that's a pretty good idea, right? No, that right there is anything but a good idea. Why is it not good? I'm giving you back the man you love so much, right? In your case, you should be begging me to give him back to you. This is your chance. You think I'm still going to love the man that cheated on me with my little sister? Huh? That bastard told me why he went after you a little while ago and explained how much he loves you over me. As well as told me that you've been together for 6 months now. He told you that already? The fact that you're getting surprised by that is surprising. Then, what can I do for you that'll get you to let me be their kid? No matter what you do, you're not going to become their child. But that's not frickin' fair. You always get to have things your way, Heidi. Then, Joy, if you really want to become their new child, do you think you can speak 5 different languages within the next 2 years fluently like me? Huh? You have to be pretty globally sophisticated to be their child, as well as know a lot about my foster dad's company. What the heck? Why do I have to do all that? The reason for me being their foster child is because I helped my foster dad's business, and will someday be the one to take over their company. And that's going to be happening in the next 2 years, so I have to be ready. What? What does this even mean? If you can't do that, then stop trying to be their next child, okay? Also, in the next few days, I'll be asking for a settlement from you. A settlement? Why? Do you really think you could get away with stealing someone's husband and there'd be no consequences for it? Unlike all those times in the past, you're an adult now, and the only thing that can save you now is money, not your parents. So don't go trying to find a way out of this one, because you won't escape me. But you're asking for money from your own sister. Well, that's still up for debate, actually. Whether you really are my little sister anymore or just some stranger to me. But either way, I'm getting a settlement. You're kidding me. In my case, I had my husband stolen from me, so I have the right to take you to court and make you pay for the damages caused. So make sure you pay every penny I ask for, and then get out of my life. But this shouldn't be happening.
Hey, Heidi, you're asking me for over $60,000? Why do I have to pay you that much? You should only be able to ask me for a smaller amount based on me cheating on you, right? I already have to deal with paying for that failed wedding and the wedding ring, but now I'm being asked to pay $60,000?
Well, when it comes to that wedding you have to pay for, you used both our money to start paying for it, right?
Wait, what?
And as for some of the money that I had in my private savings account, you used it as well on that wedding. I don't know how you figured out my PIN for that account, but you took my money without asking.
So you want me to give that back to you, huh?
Well, when you add in that money you took from me in our shared account, the settlement comes out to $60,000.
But I don't have that kind of money right now.
Do you not realize that you stole money from me to use on a wedding with my little sister while we've still been married? If you thought that was okay, then I find it okay to make you go into debt to pay me back. And you have no right complaining to me now, right?
But for some reason I haven't been able to get any response from Joy about this. And now I'm on my own, facing $60,000. Wait, what the hell is going on here? Why did I have to end up dealing with all this by myself? What did I even do that was bad enough to deserve all this?
Maybe go back and look at what you were explaining to me a little while back about what you did and my sister did. Anyway, I'm going to have my lawyer be the one to deal with you now. So take the number that's on that business card I left for you and talk with my lawyer if you have anything else to say.
And you're just gonna leave me now?
You already know the answer to that question, Keith. Now, goodbye forever.
Wait a second, Heidi. Having to get divorced from you in this manner? I don't have anywhere to go if you leave me like this. Heidi!
To start, let's talk about my sister, Joy. She had tried to get her parents to pay off the settlement I had asked for from her, but not even they had the money to pay for what I was asking. Just a little while back, the business they had ended up going bankrupt, and they had to sell their house in order to pay the bank, and have since then been without proper jobs. So with whatever money they all did have, they used to pay me, and then all had to move away into a small and worn-down apartment together. Joy still hasn't paid everything off that I've asked for yet, but I'll make sure that she pays me little by little until she'd met the amount I've asked for. And now, here's what happened with my ex-husband. He had touched money that was not his in the first place, and even then, after using said money, he didn't have anything left to pay me that $60,000 I asked for. He ended up having to borrow money to pay the money I was asking for off. And then after that, was left with no place to go. He began stalking Joy in hopes of getting money from her, and also handed in marriage paperwork to the city office without her approval. But what happens next with those two now that they might get married will have to be saved for another day, when there's more time to talk. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Esther, we're getting a divorce.
What?
You went back to your mom and dad's place after getting discharged from the hospital. They have ramps and all that crap, so it's wheelchair friendly, right? There's no sense you coming back to me. I just terminated the contract on the apartment, so it ain't like there's anywhere for you to come back to anyway.
Barry, what the hell? Just slow down a minute. The only reason I came back to live with my folks is because our apartment isn't wheelchair friendly. It was only supposed to be a temporary arrangement. Wasn't the plan to find a new wheelchair friendly place to move in together?
Maybe it was at one point, but you know what? That sounds like a real pain in the ass.
What?
Listen, babe, I'm real grateful for you jumping in to save me like that. I would have been in major trouble if not for you. Who knows, I could have even died. It sucks that you ended up in a wheelchair after falling down the stairs. But you know what, Sugar Dumpling? That's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Thing is, sweetie pie, all this time alone, I've been doing some thinking. The fact that your mom and dad's place is wheelchair friendly must mean you had some close friend or relative in a wheelchair living there before.
Yes, my grandma. Apparently they had some improvements made on the house to make her life there as smooth and stress-free as possible.
Basically, your family home, where they have experience looking after cripples, is a far more suitable care environment than anything I could possibly provide. Think about it. You know I'm right.
Oh my god.
As soon as I realized that, it dawned on me just how pointless our relationship is. You're dead weight, and divorce is the only answer.
How could you do this? You make it sound like you don't even care about me. I'm in a difficult enough place mentally as it is, Barry. I'm in a wheelchair for crying out loud. Did you really have to do this now of all times? Oh my god, my world is falling apart.
Oh yeah, that too!
Huh?
Ever since you got put in a wheelchair, you've been giving off this miserable, depressing aura. Like you're constantly begging for sympathy. And I gotta tell you, babe, it's been hard on me.
What the? How could you say this?
In any case, I ain't got no interest in continuing married life with a depressing, crippled loser like you. That's why we're getting a divorce. I'll mail the divorce papers to your folks' place. Make sure you get them signed and handed in ASAP. Your folks are gonna have to push you there, obviously. See ya!
3 years later.
Hey, Esther, it's been a while.
Huh? Is that Barry?
Can you believe it's been a whole 3 years? Time sure flies when you're having fun, huh?
What do you want?
I'm messaging you because there's something I wanted to tell you.
What?
I'm getting remarried!
That's great. Congratulations.
Haha, thanks, babe.
Was that all you wanted to tell me?
Huh?
Surely it would be kinda weird if the only reason you wanted to message your ex-wife after 3 years was to tell her you're getting remarried. Surely that wasn't the only thing? To be honest, I think I forgot to block you because I was dead certain you'd never message me again. After all, why would you? I didn't see this one coming. If that was all you wanted to tell me, let's leave it there. I'd appreciate it if you didn't contact me again.
Aha! I knew it! I knew messaging you was the right thing to do.
What? Why?
It's as plain as day. You still have feelings for me, don't you, babe?
Excuse me?
You know how when you tell a kid not to push a button, they always end up pushing it? It was reverse psychology. You thought by telling me not to contact you, I'd get in touch with you again someday, and you'd have another show to the prize. Me. I can read you like a book.
I'd appreciate it if you stopped playing games and acting so strange. We're done. Barry, and that's final. Now please, stop messaging me. Just leave me alone. You're really annoying.
One more thing. My fiance is the daughter of the CEO of a major company. I take a huge sigh of relief every time I remember how I never would have found myself such a good woman if we didn't divorce. Whew, talking about dodging a bullet. Can you imagine? Me, forced to be permanent live-in carer to some whiny cripple for the rest of my life? I made the right decision.
Wow.
Aha! There it is! The jealousy rears its ugly head. Ha ha ha! I guess no one can blame you. I'm a rugged, fine specimen of a man who can have any woman he wants. And you're in a wheelchair.
Is this the real reason you messaged me?
Huh?
Did you just want to mock and ridicule me for being in a wheelchair? To gloat about how much better you think you are than me? About how much better you think your life is than mine?
Ha ha! I guess it can't be helped. It is the truth after all.
I'd appreciate it if you kept your malicious, spiteful judgments about what you think my life must be like to yourself.
Aw, is someone a little mad? Does baby want a dummy?
I suggest you be careful about what you say.
What? Is that a threat? I'm quaking in my boots here, honest.
It'd be an awful shame if you said the wrong thing and forced me to take revenge on you when you least expected it.
Whatever, you jealous loser. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I'll invite you to the wedding. It could be good for you. Think about it. If you see how blissfully happy me and my new wife are together with your own eyes, it might help you finally let go of your feelings for me.
Feelings for you? I honestly could not care less about you.
Great, that settles it then. I'll send the invite out to your folks' place.
I don't want one, and I'm not going. Truthfully, I'd rather stick pins in my eyes.
I know how stubborn you are, so I know you'll probably reply not attending, despite wanting to come more than anything. But I'm preparing some space for your wheelchair, so you better show up.
I said I'm not going. The day of the wedding.
Hey, Esther! I knew it! You were so adamant you weren't gonna come, but I knew it was all an act. You actually came, didn't you? Priceless! I saw a woman in a wheelchair making her way towards the wedding hall from the waiting room window. I knew it! Your feelings for me are unshakable, and you came in spite of your protest. You can't run from love, babe! Or roll in your case. Problem is, I filled the space I had ready for you, cause you sent the invite back saying you weren't attending. They don't even make movies this entertaining. Sorry, sweet cheeks, but I could hardly let you in without a confirmed invite. My hands were tied. I knew I did the right thing by warning my buddy on reception. I said, hey, Timmy, if some bimbo in a wheelchair shows up, you make sure you turn her away immediately. You got that, Mal? Why? Cause she's my ex-wife. He messaged me just now saying he sent you packing the moment you showed up. He said the look in your face was priceless. Enjoy the journey home. I hope you brought someone to push you.
Barry, I'm sorry, but I'm completely lost. What are you talking about?
Cripple, go home! Go home, go home, go home! Cripple, go home! Go home, go home, go home! G-O-H-O-M-E!
But I never came in the first place.
Huh?
As you well know, I sent the invite back with the not attending box very clearly ticked. As I told you before, I had no intention of going, and I didn't. So what the hell are you talking about?
Huh? But in that case, who was the one I saw from the waiting room window?
Obviously, it wasn't me.
Wait, what? Seriously?
The next day.
How in the heck in the baby Lord Jesus' name was I supposed to know, you stinky bimbo?
Wow, where did that come from all of a sudden?
The woman in the wheelchair I kicked out of the wedding after mistaking her for you yesterday was actually my wife's childhood friend. My wife flipped out at me big time for giving her the boot. Apparently they were real close, like sisters. I've never seen her this bad. She's threatening to divorce me, you goddamn evil witch! This is all your fault for being in that godforsaken wheelchair! How dare you!
This is my fault? Amazing! You literally have zero ability to self-reflect, do you? So this must mean your wife's childhood friend was one of the invites she sent out. Which also means the necessary arrangements to accommodate a guest in a wheelchair would have been taken by the organizers of the ceremony. Surely there's no way the groom wouldn't have been made aware of something like this at his own wedding. Or maybe you were, and you just weren't listening. Which was it?
Well,
Or maybe you were listening, but you forgot?
Actually,
If by any chance were you leaving all of the wedding arrangements to your wife, you were taking on your fair share of the responsibility, weren't you, Barry?
well,
Let's face it, you always were the kind of guy to come up with nonsensical excuses every time you deemed something to be a pain in the ass. Even if the thing you were escaping from was very clearly something you should have been taking responsibility for. That's always the kind of guy you were, wasn't it, Barry?
the heck are you talking about? You make me sick, woman. Look at you. So what? So I made one teensy-weensy, teeny-weeny little mistake. I'm human, aren't I? Get off your high horse, you self-racist witch. This just proves you still have feelings for me. It gets more obvious with each message.
Keep dreaming.
Maybe try learning to walk again, cripple. Who knows? You might even be able to get remarried like me.
Huh? Oh, right. I see. You don't know anything about my situation these days, do you?
What else is there to know? You're a friendless, single, shut-in hermit cripple who lives with her elderly parents and relies on them 24/7 to care for her. I don't need to ask to know that.
I gave the rehab everything I had after the divorce and made huge improvements. Doctors tell me I'm well and truly on the road to recovery.
Huh?
They also tell me that if I carry on working hard, there's a good chance I'll be able to walk normally again one day, as if the accident never happened.
Wait, what? Seriously?
This isn't exactly new though, is it? They've been saying this since the beginning.
What? They have?
Looks like my suspicions were right. You divorced me without even properly listening to what the doctors had to say, didn't you?
I did? Oh man.
Oh, by the way, your new wife asked me to pass on this message.
Huh?
You're despicable. I want a divorce, now.
Wait, what? What? What the heck? How is she speaking to you?
She just showed up at my house because she wanted to ask me some questions.
Uh-oh.
She was pretty curious about the background behind her divorce, and of course, I, being super friendly and sociable, told her everything. She was absolutely furious about how you treated her childhood friend yesterday. She said she suddenly felt like she no longer knew you. She's on her way to you with the divorce papers now. Apparently, she never wants to see you again after you sign them. A few days later.
Sup, honey cheeks? I kept you waiting a long time, huh? You can finally remarry me now!
Excuse me?
Ah, don't worry. It won't count as cheating or infidelity or anything like that. I'm newly divorced now, so there's nothing stopping us. I'm single and ready to mingle.
There's nothing stopping us from doing what exactly?
I might be a 2-time divorcee, but I'm pretty sure that technically goes back down to 1 with me and you getting remarried. What's more, now that I know you're not gonna be a wheelchair anymore, it'll be just like before. You'll be a normal person again. However, there is just one small condition. My bitch ex-wife is demanding ungodly amounts of compensation and saying I owe her all the money she put into planning the wedding. The total comes to just shy of 40K. As long as you pay off that for me, you can have me back. Your family are filthy rich, so it shouldn't be a problem, right? Just give old Pops a call and this'll be settled in a jiffy. I'll be heading over to your folks' place tomorrow, so make sure you have the marriage registration stuff dealt with before I arrive, okay, sweet cheeks?
Would you mind slowing down for a sec? There's something you should know.
What is it?
I already got remarried.
Huh?
I fell in love with the physio who oversaw my rehab at the hospital. He's such an amazing man. He was there for me when I was at my lowest, when my head was all over the place after being so cruelly and heartlessly tossed aside like some piece of trash when you realized I was in a wheelchair.
You married the physio? Oh, this is the first I've heard of it.
Is there a reason I need to give detailed reports on my private life to my ex-husband?
But I gave you reports on my private life.
I don't remember there being any kind of rule saying I have to do that.
Wait, does this mean you won't marry me? Ugh! It's gonna be a lot harder trying to find a new wife as a 2-time divorcee, you know. Have you even thought about how this is gonna affect me?
I'm praying that one day you'll have an epiphany and realize that this was entirely your fault. But something tells me I'll be praying for a long time.
What?
It'd be a miracle if you found an oddball crazy enough to marry a cruel, selfish, heartless, mean-spirited, good-for-nothing loser like you.
What? That's just uncalled for!
Never contact me again. Goodbye. Later on, I found out the real reason my ex-husband went out of his way to tell me he was getting remarried was that, apparently, at the time of the divorce, his friends and family found out he was ending things because the thought of caring for his then-crippled wife was too much for a nuisance. Unable to cope with his newfound reputation as a total scumbag, he hatched a plan to heal his damaged reputation. The idea was to goad me into causing a scene at his wedding by provoking me into a jealous rage so he could paint me as some kind of deranged psycho whom he had no choice but to divorce. I really am tired of him. Talk about dodging a bullet. Amazingly, his parents were nothing like him, and me and them had always gotten along, so a few days later, I decided to tell them everything. They immediately hung their heads in shame and apologized profusely. His mom said, as if the shenanigans at the wedding weren't bad enough, "My goodness, Esther, we're so sorry." They vowed to keep a watchful eye on him to ensure he could never hurt anyone again. Last I heard, he was being forced to work to exhaustion to pay off his debts by his ex-military dad.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.